O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that killeth the prophets, and stones and stones those sent to her. Don't pull it out, just let it ring. How often I wanted to gather your children together, just as a hen gathereth her brood under her wings, and you would not have it. So we out. So we've been doing this thing since 2007 on the YouTube, man. So now that here it is 2015, and now the judgment is coming.
Yeah, this is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 32. And what shall I more say? For the time, that's Hebrews 11 and 32. And what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell thee of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, and of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets. Jumping down to verse 36. And others had trial of cruel mockings and scourgings. So some of the prophets you mocked, you ridiculed.
They're doing it now.
You're doing it now. You scoffed at them. Those of you guys that get on the comment board, you scoffers on the comment board, you were doing the same thing back then. Yep. And it says, and scourgings, which was beatings. It says, because, you have some brothers, that in the GMS camp, like the camp, the main camp back when we were up in Harlem, some of the other brothers now that are elders, they got jumped by Comfy's, a bunch of Comfy's men out there, That was scourging. The brother out there in Seattle, there was another brother, that got, something happened to him. He got attacked. Sometimes brothers get spit on,
I'm sorry to cut. Just yesterday, we got a report that a brother, one of the brothers got attacked out there in Indianapolis. He got attacked on the camp trying to do the work of the Lord. Yep. But so that's prophecy. Like the brother said, and you wicked niggas that's a privy to that, Yahweh Shah gonna get you, man. He gonna bring judgment. And that guy that just got AK'd up that used to be in GMS and left. Yep. And you know what? The Most High is bringing judgments on guys. There was another guy in the Indiana camp that he used to be the head of the camp. Yeah. And the Most High, he got kicked out. And him and his woman was up in there conspiring. Their son, the son of the nigga that used to be the head of the camp that got kicked out, the Most High, he got sick or something happened. He went into a coma. Then he came out of the coma, but when he came out, we got the pictures. When he came out the coma, the dude's eyes were red. Like he looked like an actual Martian alien. He's all jacked up and messed up. So the Lord ain't playing, man. You guys that was actually in this thing that think it's a joke, and when Apostle Tahar brought out the scriptures about when the time or the day of Jacob's trouble comes, and when you really got to face off to whether you gonna go into camp or you might have to face death for this thing. See, you guys think this is a game, man. This is like Apostle Tahar always say. It's a club. It's a social club, or it's a fad. It's a gang. It's like the Brotherhood of the Water Buffalo. Like when you used to watch The Honeymooners, and this guy Ralph Crandon and Ed Norton. Yeah. They wear that big stupid hat, look like a Davy Crockett raccoon hat. And then they had their regular lives. They had their woman. You come home, Alice, and all that shit. And then Norton will come in. Hey, we got the meeting tonight. The Water Buffalo, the Brotherhood of the Water Buffalo. Woo! And they would go to the meeting, drink beer, play pool.
Yeah, they had that thing that would go woo.
Yeah, woo! Yeah. That was their salute.
That's how you guys, how you guys look at Israel. It's something to do. Yeah. It's a new fad, like the hula hoop, man. Yeah. It's a new fad, man. Remember they had what do you call that, man? Yeah. That where you jump the pong, the thing where you jump up and down. It sounds so old, man. The pogo stick. Remember that came out? Every nigga had a pogo stick, man.
Yeah. You had to have one.
You had to have one, man. Now they got the Giuseppe sneakers now for $900, man. That's a new thing.
Yeah, boy.
But some of you gonna be blown away, and them sneakers are gonna be left there.
Standard.
Smoke coming out them motherfuckers, man.
Yep. Hey, when I was a kid, I don't know if some of y'all remember this. Yeah, the punk rock glasses. Punk rock glasses. I don't know if that was a thing. It was like some stupid looking glasses, looked like rock and roll glasses, and gazelles. Them the gazelles. You know them shit, Run DMC. But that's what, because we know, we're speaking from experience, because back in the 90s when I came along, myself and Apostle Gabar, back in the very early 90s, Israel blew up. You had all kind of, because when I came into the school, I'm talking about the original school back in 1 West in Harlem, which is no longer there, but when I came into the school, the first time I came to the school was still relatively small. That was 1990 when I came in. The school was still relatively small. It was small. I know. I remember, man. I mean, there was a lot of brothers in there, but it was still relatively small. And the Lord blessed me to where I was around long enough. I actually, from 90, 91, 92, I watched the school grow. And then I remember when the camps in the other states blew up. Because my first Passover, that's when the Ariala, another guy who fell off the Gadite, he had just got back from California, and then he had just opened up the California zone, the old not the current, the original California camp, and then the Apostle Tahar and another elder, Yahanabah, used to go up to Boston, and then the Boston thing blew up, the old Boston camp. Then all of a sudden, this thing started blowing up. Then that dude, General Yohana, he went down into Philly, and he opened up that Philly. Then we had camps from all over. Then the Passovers got bigger. Then the New York school started growing. Each week you went to the school, you started seeing new faces. You started seeing all these new faces in the school. So I watched the school grow, man. Which a lot of them guys wasn't right, because I'm going to say 99% of them niggas are back in the world. Back in the world, man. They all just went, they came and went. But you got to realize, and at the time that was going on, in the early 90s, you had a lot of shit going on. So niggas were getting scared. You had a lot of these racial incidents going on. You had the Rodney King thing. Then you had just a year before that, 2 years, the Howard Beach thing went down. Howard Beach, remember that? Then you had the Yusuf Hawkins. Then you had the other thing, Gavin Cato, that was down there in Crown Heights when the so-called Jew ran over the little Benjamite kid. You had all these different racial things going on. There was a lot of racial tensions, and shit was getting deep. And then you had the Iraq war with Saddam Hussein. That was all. So all that stuff was happening. You niggas, I noticed something about you. When shit is happening, y'all get nervous, man. That's when y'all come down to the camps. And so that's what happened in the early 90s, man. So all you niggas that came in the early 90s, the only reason you came in because y'all actually were getting scared. Because you saw the Israelite camps out there, and we was there, man. And then y'all said, oh, shit, yo, man. Yo, these Israelites, okay, I better get down with this. Maybe they got something, right? But then y'all came in, hey, well, we could get it. In the Matthews with the 7th chapter, the parable of the sower, y'all came in, then after you was in there, and then things kind of calmed down all of a sudden. Things calmed down. All that racial shit calmed down. And then the war, the Desert Storm, that calmed down. And then the soldiers came home. I was like, okay, well, yo, man, what's going on? And then when it came time for the scriptures compare this thing to a marathon. You know, after a while, niggas ran out of steam. And then the Lord didn't come. The Lord didn't come. The Most High, Yahweh Shai, didn't come. So I said, you know what, man? Yeah, I wasted. You had niggas that said that. I wasted my life. Nigga told me, Ryan Bond. I ran into him, man. It was like, I ran into him 15 years ago. I ran into him. I wasted my life. I was in that school for 10 years, and I wasted my life. Don't waste your life, brother. And he was trying to convince me to leave the school. And I told him, man, I said, you got demons on you, man. You see, that's what happened. So a lot of you niggas, that was what you were the seed that fell amongst thorns. The cares of this world choke out the word and they become unfruitful. That's a lot of you guys. And some of you guys never believed anyway. Like Apostle Tahar, it was just a club. Y'all it was like the Muslims. You niggas, I used to be a Muslim. You talk to certain jakes.
Niggas become Muslims when they get locked up. If they've been a Christian all their damn life, when they go to prison, they want to be on the inside, they become a Muslim, man. And then when they leave, they truly dedicate themselves to that Islamic bullshit, man. Oh, anyway, I found this. I put in horse-shaped UFO over Mexico.
Oh, boy.
Mexico volcano. That's, how the word came out when I halfway printed up. And you can actually see. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to bring the TV speaker out.
Yeah, come. Con, and that's matter of fact. I'll get a scripture real quick. Okay. Yep, and the apostle Tar is showing you the horse shaped UFO. Okay, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, and verse 11. It says, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he does judge and make war." So that what you see in there.